people are pricing emotionally and also
I would
comparatively.
probably cut out the agent because I feel like I'll be saving some money.
Just let me do my business. But sometimes they reach out to you to steal information from us.
After the conversation was done, he messaged me and said, "You know what? We can deal with this directly. Just talk to me anytime." And I was like, "Jesus."
As in,
Oh my
cut out the...
goodness.
Cut out
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
cut out the middle
wow.
person.
That's what we call a sin. We call that a sin. You just don't do
you see.
that.
All right, welcome to the home front. Today I have with me Mr. Rawlings and Miss Azen. I'll let them introduce themselves properly. I'll let Mr. Rawlings go first.
Where do we look? Like, who do we... Where do
No,
I
it's just, you can look at her, you can look at me. It's fine.
Okay. I guess I'll just look at you then.
Yeah.
So my name is Benaya Uche Rollins.
Okay.
I work as a real estate consultant and a broker.
Okay.
Yes, I've been doing this for the past 4 to 5 years. Yeah, mostly in Ghana.
Mostly in Ghana. Where else
Mostly.
do you do it?
Some parts of Nigeria, between Lagos and Abuja, and some parts of East Africa, between Uganda and Kenya.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
What is the main difference between doing real estate in Ghana and real estate in Nigeria? I'm sure there'll be differences. What do you find?
There isn't much of a difference, especially between Nigeria and Ghana, but with regards to East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, I think how they do pretty much how they exchange transactions and perform real estate transactions is obviously different. Rules and regulations are almost the same in all of these countries. So there isn't any specific thing. The only thing I do know between Ghana and Nigeria is that properties in Ghana are so much expensive.
Really?
Yes, it's shockingly. I was in East Legon. Let's say the first 2 years of my career, and I saw a very lovely mansion, and they told me that property was selling for 1.3 million.
US.
Yes, that was the first time I've seen a $1.3 million house in Ghana. Because in my head, I was like, hold on. I mean, it's ordinary to hear that homes are selling for 150, for 200,000, but then $1.3 million.
But was it worth it? The $1.3 million for what they were asking for?
Then I didn't really understand. I mean, I had all kinds of thoughts going through my head. I was asking all kinds of questions, like what would make this home worth 1.3 million? So I just the obvious conclusion depends who owns it, depends if it has the pool, precious stones, all that.
Location maybe.
I mean, I don't think I think location sometimes can be overrated. To be honest, you can build a nice house in Adenta and still live a very comfortable life.
I want to disagree with you at that a bit because, okay, being in Adenta... No. There's nothing wrong with Adenta or anything else. But for me, it's my neighborhood and my neighbors. So when I talk about location, I guess I'm talking about who is next door to me or who's three houses down to me. So if you take an area like, and I don't want to use the obvious ones, let's say North Ridge, right?
Yes.
It's a very planned neighborhood. So it's easy for somebody to want to sell their home for $1 million or $2 million or whatever the case may be, just because of the kind of pedigree of people that are in the area. So, and also maybe, I don't know if this is true or not, could it also be the fact that you can say that, oh, my home is X amount because I paid so much for it? Could that be also another thing?
I mean, selling with emotions.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much what's going on in the market these days.
Okay.
The fact that Mr. A sold his property for $200,000, $300,000 means that if I have a property of the same specification I can sell mine for $200,000 or $300,000. So anyone who, especially for, I call them small scale developers, so single, just people who have like 10 homes, 20 homes, or have like 2 years, 5 years experience. They come into the market, want to sell their home, no feasibility studies, or they'll overlook the feasibility study and be like, did you see our neighbor selling his home for 155?
Right.
For 255? I think we can do the same, but why don't you just do 300? The neighbor is selling for 255 and he's almost sold out. And in his head, he's put it for 300. I mean, it gives us a chance to bargain, and then you get to find out the hard truth and reality of what happens to people in real estate transactions. You can't sell those houses.
Right.
And then what happens to these houses? The more they stay idle, unoccupied, they begin to have wearing, maintenance problem, and the modern the modern look of those houses just becomes outdated.
Right.
Now, if that property was built 2 years ago, imagine the new trends and the new aesthetic outlook of properties that are built 2 years 2 years in the future. It's not going to be the same.
Right.
It's never going to be the same.
Because obviously the aesthetic would change. Everything is
yeah,
different.
everybody wants to stay. You talked about staying in East Legon. Go see what's happening in East Legon. Every day you have newer designs of like it's like a competition of who has the best design, aesthetic design, in terms of structure, in terms of size, in terms of beauty, of the whole. I mean, elegance speaking for itself. Like there are places you don't need to be like, is this your house? Like. But you just go into like, wow, you have a nice house. Yeah. So that's it's a sad reality. But just to touch back a bit about the question you asked, between Nigeria and Ghana, the same home I did in a place called Ikoyi in Lagos. I saw a home for $95,000, and it looked almost the same as that home I saw for $1.3 million. Wow. And so I was really interested now. So I spoke to the guy. I mean, I didn't have that 90.
Not to cut you off, by the way, Ikoyi is
it's
comparable to Cantonment, Laboni.
Ikoyi is the East Legon, Laboni, Osu, right?
Yeah.
And the neighborhood you talked about, the neighborhood was great. It was in a gated community, like over 200 houses. So, and Nigeria they have a behavior of building homes with large spaces.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like you could park, 5 cars, 4 cars, 6 cars. And that home was so huge for $95,000, 3-bedroom, duplex.
Interesting.
And I felt maybe they had inferior material, but no. Insane lighting fixtures, mad chandeliers, like everything about that house was solid. So I think that's some of the things happening in Ghana. We sell homes or we price homes most times out of emotions. And I think people also, act in response to that. With buyers, I'm sure you have that experience. You're not like, I did a study 2 months ago, 3 months ago. They're selling for $300,000, but why is it that yours is selling for $400,000, for $500,000? Exactly. Yeah, so I think we just the public just act in response to that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Miss A said, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? And then we can get into the dynamics of buying property in beautiful Ghana.
Okay. So I'm Stephanie Asen. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I am a mom of 2 wonderful, amazing babies.
Well done.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's like my greatest feat. So
yes. It's no small feat, anyway.
By profession, I am a communications, expert. And by passion, I have a hair care business and I'm a licensed cosmetologist as well. So I am the one that you come to feel confident. And by defunct and default, I kind of stumbled into real estate after moving to Ghana in 2020 during the COVID season. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay, quick one. You've searched for a property in Ghana before. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your experience. How did that work out for you?
Okay.
How did you start? How did it go? How did it end? All of that.
I want to say that the basics are quite, to anyone who's ever searched for property, it's a quite similar experience. But then I want to say that mine is unique because obviously you have to think about, and I'm sure you can agree with me, Benaya, like in terms of specifications. So even the number of rooms, how you want to feel when you walk into the place. So, and especially what you're using, what you're buying the space for. The reason, the underlying reason is what makes everybody's experience different. But obviously, you go through the same processes. It's the same process for everyone. My experience, I have to say, was great because first and foremost, I partnered with an up-and-coming startup. So that made things a bit easier for me. I was, I'm careful with budget. I'm not. I don't have that I don't have that $1 million whatever. So and so I partnered with. I don't know. Can I name drop?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I partnered with Blaviar to help me. Blaviar. It's a it's a platform. Yeah. It's a new company, but they're really good. Very extremely efficient. And my experience in Ghana, let me tell you, it's never the agent or the third party or person that you're dealing with. It's the homeowners. It's always the sellers that you find that you have a lot of issues with. Yeah. I'll tell you about the pros. The pros are Ghana is a beautiful place. Fortunately for us, we have such a wonderful landscape in this country, like the land, the areas, everything is kind of like, I don't want to use the word segregated, but like kind of demarcated in a way. Exactly. So whatever you're looking for and wherever you're working, I believe in being close to where your workplace is because I don't traffic me. Yeah. I like driving myself. So I don't have the luxury of maybe like a driver like sitting 30, 45 minutes from home to work. That's too much. And so I had specificities, like specific needs when it came to searching for a place. And in Ghana, we do have that. There are specific places that are like central hubs. So, for example, airport. A lot of people, if you're working in airport, it's great for you to, because it's such a central hub, like you can find apartments there, you can find homes there. And it's also quite commercial in that space. Labone is slowly becoming like that. East Legon is like a little city by itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that regard, there is a place for every budget, which is great. However, like you said, Benaya, people are pricing emotionally and also comparatively, but in a very, I don't want to use the word ignorant, but in a very non-informed way. Yeah. So, like you said, looking at the specs of a home that is in their area, and I will give you an example for that. There was an area in Labone. It is a very popular area. It's a gated neighborhood in that area. Well, Labone Cantonment, I want to say. It's on the cusp of, the boundary line of. And, a lot of prominent people, especially government people, used to live there. Ministers, parliamentary, like all of that. And it that was what it was created for, and then slowly became the hub for, like people just came in and then bought, like influx of people who had found like new money, I guess. So this home that I was interested in, it was a cul-de-sac, right? It was at a cul-de-sac. Great location because I'm a mother. Yeah. Cul-de-sac, and it was, I think, about 5 or 6 bedrooms. It was huge. In Ghana, too, we have huge homes and huge yards because we like that. My mother is always like, I don't understand the UK because why are you living in this box? Like, what is that? I cannot even move my leg. Like, Africans, we like space. That's what we know. That's what we understand. We're like free spirits. And we get there trying to really negotiate, because when I walked in from the outside, the neighborhood is amazing because all these homes, I mean, and I actually have friends that live there, so I had been to that neighborhood several times actually. And I know how the interior of some homes in there look. Exactly. When I walked into this particular home that was a potential buy for me, I was like, what is happening? It was old. It was run down. The owner was living outside the country, and the place had not been managed properly. I don't even want to use the word properly. Had not been managed at all.
At all.
So, and it had the build. See, the problem with Ghana is, in the US, at least from what I know, my experience, we have like websites like Zillow. Wow. It gives you stats on the building when it was when it was built.
Yeah.
Who occupied it?
How many homeowners have been in that space? Yes. Like, so you have this building, and the price that he had mentioned for what I was seeing, I was like, this guy is just smoking some lala or some shisha that I don't know about, because like, are we seeing the
It didn't make sense.
Like, and even when we got on a call, I'm telling you, this guy was just going on about the home. I was like, Master, you need to come down and come and see your house, because like, what you're talking about. So I said to him, I was like, you know, there are homes that could even be just like 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms.
You're saying you're telling us about the experience of the other property compared to the first one.
Yes, so this was actually a townhouse. It was a smart home. It was 3 bedrooms.
Oh.
It was absolutely beautiful. It was a wonderful space. It was meticulously thought out for a family. Probably it's I think the goal was for it to be a startup home, but probably a startup home, usually you think like 5, maybe 7 years, but I could see myself in that space for a really long time, even 10, 15, however, like till the kids probably are in uni or something. It was great. The finishing, the fittings, I was really blown away by the space, and it was a new build. You know, and I would have paid, I won't lie, if that pricing for that 5-bedroom home in Labone was for the one that I had seen.
The 3-bedroom townhouse.
Yes, townhouse. I would, not that I would have paid that much for it, because, no, but I would have considered it. And I would have said it was worth it. There are some homes you walk into and you know this is worth it. Yeah. But then you cannot give me even like a 7-bedroom, like rundown place, because it is smack in the middle of cantonments, and say, hey, come and pay this
so much for it.
This $1 million for this home. Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the experience has been, I guess it's not even a negative. It's just like a lesson, and it's just very eye-opening. No, I try to be
Let me ask you, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a home buyer searching for a property, like the process? What were the main challenges for you?
Yeah. The main challenge is the homeowners or the sellers not really being on board with the agents. I think there needs to be a very structured mechanism or organism of some sorts when it comes to really communicating the needs for me. Because as a buyer coming in, when I say I want to meet, in some places, not in Ghana, you get to meet the seller at the end when you're closing.
Closing, yeah.
In Ghana, we are privy to certain like loopholes of being able to speak to the seller ourselves, especially when we as a buyer feel like the agent is not being forthcoming. What I have realized is that sometimes it's not the agent's fault. And I think that now that we're selling a lot, maybe it's time to really give the real estate agent, the realtors, that esteem and respect to know that they understand the market. They go for the trade shows. They read the books. They do their research. They are skilled in what they're doing. Right. So as a seller, if you come and then the real estate agent, you're saying, I want my home to be $1 million, they're selling because everybody's selling it at $1 million. Absolutely. And they tell you that, ma'am, this is not, madam.
Yeah. Listen to it. Do you find that as a challenge? Yeah. For the homeowners when you're selling for them?
Yeah. She's speaking the truth. because in serious occasions or series of occasions, I've had the time to sit down just like this, have sometimes even a personal conversation. Look, I'm telling you, this property will not sell.
Okay.
And just between the two of us, it's not going to sell. And if you don't reduce the price for this, I won't spend my time with
But is it
you.
always a question of reducing the price, or could it also be fix this and it will sell, or add this to it and it will sell?
In some
Add the
cases,
value.
yes. Like just like she says, we could. There are times when we come into a home and we tell the homeowner, "There's a lot of things you need to do in this home, otherwise." I wouldn't. So the thing we need to understand with and we explain that to our homeowners. There's serious competition. There is an oversupply, especially in the high end market. And I talked about how designs of home keep changing. You talked about smart homes. Now people want all of these things, and this is what sells on the market.
Yeah.
So if you have a disadvantaged home, a home that has serious repair problems or maintenance issue, if you don't do what I say, which is going to help me market this property, I don't have to waste my time, trying to sell that home.
Okay.
No matter how much pressure you put on me. So it's just people listening to us, just like you. For me, I burn my candle every day, every single day. Every single day, there goes not a day, even on Sundays, I have to call someone, what's going on in the market. Developer sells a home, how much did you sell it for? Sometimes they can't really release that information to make to some people, but they know who I am. They know I'm the kind of guy who works with data, who wants to, be the expert with my career. So how much did you sell your home for? The last 4 homes you sold, what's the average price? What offers are you getting? We burn our candles. We do all the reading there is to do. We ask all the questions. We spend money, go for trade shows. We spend money on ads. Sometimes, I think it comes down also to the commission they pay us. Sometimes we tell our homeowners, this is how much commission you're going to pay me. I'm not talking about the roadside agent that tells you 10%, 8%. Like I'm telling you 5%, right, to sell this house. There are times we've spent 3% of that on ad budget, marketing budget. 3%. And which means what comes to us is 2%.
Interesting.
So, and they just don't understand. We're like, it's too much. But this is the reality. I'm going to spend about half of this marketing your property. So when I ask you to give, and they don't pay this upfront.
All right.
And that's another sad thing.
Yeah.
Somebody else can come from nowhere and then get the property sold.
As a buyer, do you think in Ghana you can actually find property on your own without an agent? Or you have to use an agent to get a property?
See, my thing is I completely believe in delegation because maybe the way my life is positioned right now, I don't have the luxury of being able to do anything and everything at all times.
Right.
And so I would to answer your question, if I was in a different position, I would say yes. However, I don't believe in that. I'm just a firm believer in if, for example, like I said, I need a driver. I know I need a driver because I can't do this by myself. I am exhausted at the end of the day just sitting in traffic alone. Mm-hmm. So I know that this is what I need. Can I outsource to somebody who's skilled at this? Yes, I can. And so I will. You can definitely do that. But you know what? You're short selling yourself. You're short changing yourself because if you get up and say, I'm going to look for a place, the real estate agent has done all their legwork. They've done their homework. They have friends. The realtor has friends.
Connections, networks.
Exactly. You have that network. You have and one thing to also add that I wanted to say is I think that in Ghana, because the industry is now growing, there is I don't know, please forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's a regulatory body for realtors and all of that, like you said, because you even mentioned that they are roadside, and I have interacted with some of them, and I can tell a realtor who actually knows his stuff from somebody that's just
Who's just-
trying
Yeah.
to make a
Gets
quick
up,
buck.
okay.
Yes.
You know, to say, you know what, these are the people that are actually going to handle real estate. If you're looking for a home, you can deal, because in the US, I don't know anybody that has ever direct, unless maybe it's just, you know, we're friends and like, okay, that's even that one.
Yes,
they'll say like, let's
yes,
get a
yes,
realtor.
yeah,
Because you know
exactly.
what, when things go sideways, who's going to
Yeah.
absorb the blame?
Right.
Who is going to standardize even like the nitpicking? It's the realtor. You need the realtor. I remember when Blavier took me to that home in Cantonment. So I had a call with the buyer, and you know it was a Zoom call. He's in the US trying to like sell the home to me. Like, you know, it's such a wonderful place. You can like the kids can grow up there, blah blah. He's just saying all these things. I'm just like, do you know the kind of work I have to put into this space? And the Blavier representative was absolutely amazing. Just he was like, we're putting our foot down. Something's got to give. You have to see this home currently as is before we can have a conversation, before you can come and say this to the client, because this person is sitting here now. They've been to that space and they're telling you, like I told you, that you cannot sell it at this price. Right? And then when he said, okay, let's exchange phone numbers, I was like, okay, no harm. After the conversation was done, he messaged me and said, you know what, we can deal with this directly. Just talk to me anytime. And I was like, Jesus.
As in,
Oh my
cut out
goodness.
Cut out
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
cut
wow.
out the middle person.
That's what we call a sin. We call that a sin. You just don't do that.
But and in my head, I'm like, for me, that's always a red flag.
Yeah.
When
Bro.
somebody doesn't want to go according to the standard
That's
in place,
interesting.
it becomes
Yeah.
problematic. And that is what you find here in Ghana as well. There are a lot of people who say
They do that a lot.
But I'll be
do
honest with
directly.
you. I would probably cut out the agent, because I feel like I'll be saving some money.
You mean, are you speaking as a seller or as a buyer?
As the buyer.
So
What I'm saying is that, so assuming she is the owner, and then you are the realtor, and then
And
you
you
take
want to
me to
buy.
her.
Yeah.
Yes, and then she's like, oh, you know something? Take my number, let's talk, and we actually have a rapport. I'm more inclined to say, okay, you know what? Let's do this deal on the side. I may be able to say maybe 10,000 or something. Why not?
You know, but the thing is that worth your headache? The headache of, and that for me, I always think, what if something goes wrong?
Right.
You know, I'm always looking at like, I always say,
and sometimes they do.
yeah,
Absolutely,
they do,
100%.
And I have the last laugh.
they do, and you know, you have to have plan A, B, C, D,
Yes.
E, F, G, and that's the realtor.
Right.
For me, my realtor is my plan A.
Yeah.
So if I'm calling, if I come to you and I say, listen, you were supposed to have this done by so and so day, you cannot come and tell. It's
Yes.
different from going to the seller and being like, oh, but we agreed that no.
Right.
It's
I
not
get-
an
I get
agreement.
it. Makes a
You
lot
are
of sense.
absorbing
Yeah.
every blame, every issue. You're fixing it. He's like a
Yes.
buffer for
Right.
you. However, you can save money and deal with somebody that you absolutely, anybody that agrees that let's undercut an agent so that you can save money and then whatever. That's a red flag for me. I know if you've done
And
it
why
to
won't you
him,
just have like a conversation? Look, agents, look, your services, your commission is too much. Can I offer you 2%, 3%?
Is it always a commission though?
I think that's why you want to cut them off. I think that's
you
the
said,
reason.
you know, you want to save money so that
You want
that's
to
Yeah,
save
on some
money.
level, I want to save money and then just go straight to the source. That's my thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
but
well, I think it depends. So it depends. I've worked with Blavia before. I mean, they have a property currently selling in North Legon. And how I can speak to how professional they are, and sometimes it helps even us as professionals when you get to meet another professional who knows his job. It makes your job
much easier.
much easier. Like you don't have to go back and forth and exchange all of these conversations, but. There are situations that 100%. This guy has put in so much blood, sweat, tears, energy to make this thing work. And that's the sad part. I mean, let's take out the whole business transaction, but out of morals, you can't do that. You can't cut this guy off. You have to give him what he deserves. Like
that is very true. You know, Ghana is a cash you have to have cash.
Yeah.
Everything is cash down. When it comes to buying property, right? What are some of the options, or are there any other options than me saving my coins, getting the $1 million, for example? I mean, who has $1 million in their home?
That would
You'd be
If it's not
surprised.
a Minister of Sanitation. But I'm saying that, so to you, Stephanie, and to you, the agent, what instruments are available to somebody who wants to buy, for example, that doesn't have cash? Are there any instruments available for them to be able to help them buy property?
I think I took a cue from what you said. You don't even in as much as you don't have that million. I mean, you are still looking for a comfortable home. But anyone who goes to search for a property in cantonment, bro, you must be rich.
No, but
I was
not rich.
ambitious.
What I'm saying is that,
I
you don't
was-
have to
I
have
was
the cash
willing
down.
Yes, true.
So what instruments are available in Ghana to help you get a home in? To be honest, personally, I'm sick and tired of cantonments, Laboni.
But you just said you liked it. Like, you talked about neighbors.
Well, if I'm going to buy,
Yes.
and that's why I intentionally used Northridge. And I didn't use
Northridge. Well-planned
Laboni.
community.
Yeah.
But I think cantonment is well-planned at Northridge.
True.
There are just a very few places that are well-planned in Northridge.
But the truth of the matter is that Ghana is 30 plus million people?
Yes.
We all can live in cantonments, really.
True, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we certainly all can't afford cantonments. So there are
Other places.
nice places, up and coming places.
Yes.
My question though is, what instruments are
Instruments,
available for somebody like myself?
Yes.
Or let's say somebody who works in a bank somewhere who wants to buy.
Yes.
What instruments are available to be able for them to purchase? Are there loans? Are there mortgages?
Definitely.
What is out there for you trying to buy, Stephanie? How were you, not to get into your business, but how were you going to
get into it?
how were you going to afford the house? Did you have money down, or what was your game plan to be able to buy the property? Was it a situation where you had a piggy bank that you were reaching into? Were you going
Piggy bank
in
for real estate.
I know, right?
Goodness. I'm actually doing that right now. Like, no kidding.
Really?
Yes, I have this kind of like a storage that I have. I put all my coins in there.
Hoping that you'll
I'm going to buy a land with it. Yes.
That's nice.
Buy a land in Dodo.
How are you going about it, the process?
So, like my two initial options kind of failed. It was just be born a trust fund baby, and then that's it. You'll be fine. Come back wherever in Ghana. Like it's not a big deal. Or just find a sugar daddy.
Right.
And it's just been tough. Life has been
Finding a
tough.
sugar daddy and obviously not being.
It's just been difficult.
Go
So
ahead.
my first option. So I mean, my final resort was I actually spoke to a couple of banks about the options that they had for taking out a mortgage.
Local banks or international banks?
Local banks.
Okay.
Local banks over here. I mean, international banks. You can definitely take out a lien against your own home if you're a homeowner, and then just use that money. You can use that money whether you want to in staying there. So I had that option. I just didn't want to do it because I'm somebody that's super afraid of debt. I don't know what my problem is. But what I was going to do was kind of look into the mortgage situation, do kind of the biggest lump sum down payment I could, and work from there. There were a few options, but I also have to say that the mortgage system is something that is fairly new in Ghana. And so even the biggest banks, you would be surprised. I got a couple of, let me call you back, let me ask this person, which to me, I was like, well, you're not informed. How are you not informed? How do you have this as an option that you're presenting to your clients, yet you don't have as much information as you should be? Yeah, so I think that is a new endeavor that actually I can understand, because a lot of people the way that the system is set up, some people could be cash wealthy today, and then maybe in the next couple of months or years might not be. So it's quite volatile like that. However, still we need to live. We need place. We need to sleep. We need a place to lay our head at the end of the day. And so that needs to be put in place. And that's why there are checks and balances as well.
Yeah.
But Mr. Rawlings, what options do you present your clients when they are in the process of buying? What options are available to the buyer if they want to buy?
I think most developers do this recently. They give buyers the option to pay spread.
Payment plans?
Payment plan,
arrangements?
installment payments. Sometimes I've seen up to 36 months.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, they could go up to 42, 4 years. But I think the max I've seen is up to 4 years.
Okay.
So they give, and it's interest free, no interest.
And is that directly done with the developer?
Yes, directly with the developer.
No outside parties involved? Okay.
No. So you just pay like a lump sum, like 30, 40, 50% deposit. Once you pay that, they calculate, give you a payment plan and spread it across the remaining months that you. And sometimes, it gives people, investors, for those who invest in properties, because sometimes there are people who buy now as an off plan, and when the property is completed, they resell just immediately. So they buy at a discounted rate. For example, if a home is selling for $80,000 today and they go in for that home, they have that sort of agreement to pay within 2-3 years. They pay 20%, 30% down. And in the next 2 to 3 years, that home is almost completed or is completed.
So the properties you're talking about are not properties that are built, off plan.
No, off plan properties. But I still have people who have completed properties willing to give you a discount for that. I think the max I've seen, it's maybe 1 year and a half or 2 years.
Okay.
But most time they just don't want to go above 1 year. For most of the people, want 6 months at least. 6 months.
I'm in the market to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a budget of $300,000.
That's a good budget.
Area?
That's a good budget, right?
Yeah, it's a very, very good budget.
Is it?
I'm gonna stick with
area.
I mean, you can depend what size you're looking for, like 2 bed,
you know what?
3 bed.
I'm looking for a two bed.
Okay.
One bedroom boys' quarters maybe for the help. Yeah, I'm looking for a very comfortable area. Take out Cantonment. Take it out. I don't want it. What options are available to me?
East Airports, Chado, Spentex, Adenta. You don't like Adenta, but these are
I didn't say I didn't like Adenta, but
Oyarifa.
Okay.
Do you know, do you know how shockingly, I don't know for people paying attention, but the amount of traffic that happens in Adenta or Oyarifa these days it just increased within months.
No. It shifted. Definitely.
It shocked me one time. I was trying to go somewhere, and I was just driving from Oyarifa up to usually the traffic's the highest I've seen is traffic. The traffic starts maybe close to the Shell filling station.
Okay.
Just from there, right? Mm-hmm. But this time it started at Ankonam Junction.
Okay.
Ankonam, the engine filling station. And I was like, what's going on? So it gives you, it helps you to understand that people are moving to Oyarifa and they're finding it a good place. And that's why I willingly relocated to Oyarifa.
Oh, okay.
I used to be at North Legon.
Okay.
But then I just intentionally, I want to move to Oyarifa. I just want to move because I felt like it had a better environment.
Okay.
And you could find reasonably priced properties and you still live comfortable life.
My neighbors are very important to me.
I have good neighbors.
I want neighbors like Stephanie. Will I find that for my 300,000
yes.
in these spaces?
You can.
I would.
You can. I mean, if you're that kind of person, then you can. Your best bet is definitely a gated communities.
Okay.
There are lots of gated communities in Oyarifa these days.
Okay. Now, so I have 300. Well, my budget is 300,000.
300K.
I don't have the cash. Mm-hmm. What options are available to me to be able to afford a $300,000 home
right now?
Yes,
completed.
now today.
Completed house
today?
Well, definitely your best bet is a mortgage.
What is a mortgage, and how does one get a mortgage?
So a mortgage is more sort of is a payment arrangement for buyers, willing to purchase a home, given by the bank to allow those people spread their payment across a calculated period of time, maybe up to, I think now, I don't think they do below 5 years. But 5 years, anywhere from 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, based on your credit score. So I think that's...
Credit scores work in Ghana?
Yes, they do. Shockingly, they do.
Really?
Yes.
And how do you know how they calculate that? Maybe?
I don't know. But yes, they do. I think I do. I have an idea. I pretty much work with 3 banks: First National Bank, Absa Bank, and Republic Bank. Although most of my transactions these days has been with Republic Bank.
Okay.
They have a way of doing this calculation. I don't know exactly, but I think it's got to do with where if you've taken a loan from somewhere before, if you have a lien on a property, those things, like if you have an asset, like if you have yeah, definitely, if you have assets everywhere, you have a good chance of qualifying for like a good sum of money.
So there are mortgage facilities available.
Absolutely.
Today.
Yes, absolutely. They completely work. Most of the buyers like buy I mean, not cash, but through mortgages.
Yeah.
EcoBank, First National Bank, Republic Bank, Absa Bank.
Fidelity.
So all the banks offer mortgages?
Not all the banks.
Not all
Not all
the
the banks. But there are banks that are specifically they're known to be mortgage providers. I think
Aside the traditional mortgage facility, what other instruments are available?
Maybe a term loan from your bank. A term loan is maybe something, I don't know, but it's not as plenteous or humongous as the mortgage that has been, because a mortgage bank can grant you, say for example, you have 300k, they can pay off, I mean, based on what you have, they can pay off maybe 200 or 250. But aside that, you can request for a term loan from your bank or any of the banks that do. I think all banks give term loans. But those term loans, you pay them back a shorter time than the mortgage. Yeah. Maybe 5 years max, I don't know. But yeah, they can give you up to maybe 50,000, 100,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, based on who you are and if you've banked with them before. But yeah, I mean, there are certain leverages. Even some financial institutions can give you that money. If you have a good leverages, you have properties, you have investments, they can, and you have businesses that they can, they can liquidify, and just in case you don't get them their money. Yeah, but yeah, these are some structures in place that can help people like yourself, pay maybe 30%, 40% down, and then they can pay off the rest. Yeah.
Tell me, so what are some of the challenges you face dealing with people like
both of you,
clients? What are some of the issues like really that you face as a realtor? What are the issues?
Number one is trust, right? I completely understand that we have an oversaturated market, filled with so many characters, behaviors, and we live in a place that we've come to a situation where morals don't play a key anymore in transactions, because I think anyone coming to you to buy a home, and that's how I see it. And this is a rule for me. I own 2 businesses. I own a laundry business and I own a real estate business.
You're rich, Mr. Rollins.
We're getting there.
You're rich.
The whole game is, I keep telling my team, and when they say this, they're going to know, whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure that someone is paying me money to do this.
Right.
You're requesting the services of a real estate agent. Thank you for coming to work with me, and I appreciate that. But I know you had to forsake like different people, like different situations. Your cousin could help you get that house. You may have a connection. You may have a banker who knows contacts of different homes you could have used, but you came to me instead. So first of all, I have to say thank you. But then when you come to me, I expect you to trust me that, okay, I can provide you with all the information that you need. I can connect you with whoever you want. Like, there are people I know in this country. Like almost everybody. Like it's the truth. Like almost any transaction anything real estate related in Ghana, anywhere in Ghana, I can get you connected to anybody.
Okay.
To anybody. Accountants, lawyer, like attorneys, like who do you want? I can help you. I can connect you to these people. But I expect you to trust me and just let me do my business. But sometimes they reach out to you to steal the information from us. And then they go use that information to perform the real estate transaction. And it's really sad.
So what you're saying is that what I wanted to do, cut you out and then go to the... Okay.
Yes, that's number one. But sometimes they just steal information that... How much do you think properties along these places do cost and all that? Could you help me find information from this particular development? And then you go, like, do all of this research, do all of this conversation. You deal with all the, things that you have to go deal with these developers. Give them all the promises. And then you come back and you give them all of those things. Like, you just drop it on them. And because I'm honest, I'll have to give you anything, not withholding.
Okay.
Nothing.
It's information.
And then you take all that information. Okay, I'll get back to you. Pew! You ghosts. Like, I never heard from you again. You just disappear into thin air. You take all that information. You go. My source tell me that your homes are worth this, and I wanna buy this. And then you go to that same development, cut me off, then go buy that home. At times when I've come to a developer, like I've had clients who reached out to me and I give them all this information, and then I'm being told that, hey, we had a buyer, this is the name in all of those things.
And it totally matches your...
Yes, and I just know who the person is. And sometimes I am...
But wait, let me ask you something. The developers know that you're selling the property for them.
They know, yes.
So if I come to you and clearly they know that I was dealing with you, won't the developer still alert you that I came to them? Sometimes
honest developers do. Like I talked about morals. Those who know what integrity and morality is, they will tell you, hey, I think your buyer has come to me. But for those who are hungry to make sales, they don't care. Yeah, they don't give. They don't care who you are. I can't let a $200,000 deal go right in front of me because you're an agent. Just they say just an agent. You know.
Do you feel like real estate agents are not regarded in this?
Can I say something?
Yeah, I think she has to.
Answer,
say what you want to say.
Because that's what really upsets me. One thing I realized also because I am kind of in the creative space,
Right.
people, and it's an African thing. Like people, there's this running joke between Nigerians and Ghanaians that if you don't do engineering, being a doctor or a lawyer, like in your home for your family, for your parents, it's like you're a lost cause, and people don't understand that. I think actually, I don't even think. I believe that the creative industry is actually pertinent, like just vital to the growth of any economy in any country.
Yeah.
Just look at it, like the fashion industry, the beauty industry in the US, in the UK, like these are billion-trillion-dollar industries.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so the people that are orchestrating, the people that are, kind of at the helm of these wild beast or machines, we need to equip them. We need to make sure that we have a very structured and detailed system that works. And what I wanted to say was, outside of here, what I know, my experience is looking for a home in the US. I had my realtor. I was in a particular area and she said to me that I'm not licensed and I wanted to look for homes in another state. She said, I'm not licensed for that state. I have a friend. Let me reach out to her and we can get you looking at some homes in that state.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, the next state was like Accra and Tema. Even that one is far as like Cantonment and Laboni. It's only your GPS when you're traveling that will tell you that you're welcome to.
But your realtor there was very honest and told you this is my limit.
Because there's a system there.
Yeah, there is a system.
There's a licensing system. Even before you get to sell in any part, in any state, country, city, town,
County.
you need to be licensed. Before you're able to do hair, I had a hair care business. I said, oh, you know what? Let me go learn about hair just so that I can be qualified enough to speak on it and to help people. And so I went to beauty school. I was already in corporate communications. I didn't have to, but I went to beauty school. And come find out, after I have gone to pay fees to go to beauty school, they say, oh, you want to do hair, you must be licensed to go take a test.
In Ghana here?
No, in the US.
In the US.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's there. It is a system.
So do we have that here in Ghana?
We're about to. We're currently, it's still in the process, it's still in the pipeline. It's been passed.
But isn't that a problem? It's a huge, I find
So
that
wait,
it's a huge problem.
really, what you're telling me now is that I can get up today and say I'm a realtor?
Yeah, typically. I mean, but good luck to that anyway.
No, but you see, I'm
Good luck
saying
to
that
you.
the ease with which people are able to claim to claim ownership to a title, to a position, and even to the respect and the work that people do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm not for that, because, and that's even something that I struggle with, even as a in the beauty industry, the beauty space as well. I'm like, in Ghana, like, we need these bodies, we need legislation that is going to kind of really refine and fine tune certain works and certain issues. And for me, I feel like with real estate, when it comes to realtors and agents and all of that, it needs to even be definitive. Okay, or you're an agent, but are you a realtor? Who is a realtor?
Yeah.
You know.
So then it goes back to what you were saying about trust. How do I trust somebody
That
who's
is why
not
there is no
licensed?
trust.
There's the
right?
How do I
license,
trust somebody who I don't know whether legit is going to do good by me?
I think just like I think 5 years ago when I was before I started real estate, I did extensive research, and even to today, most of what I know today are information that I absorb from the US UK market. So I pretty much know what happens in the US market in regards to regulations, licensing and all of those things. In fact, I've taken some licensing exams from the US licensing exams. I've pretty done well with it. But here, it's something we're still a developing country, and just with that we're having developing systems that work for people. If you go to South Africa, I hear there's something sort of like licensing going on over there, of which you can't perform real estate or sell anything if you're not licensed or anything like that. But for here in Ghana, it's something that is being passed. It has been passed.
It has?
It has been passed, yes, by law. We're just waiting for enforcement right now, which means like there needs to be a set up body that helps teach people, train people, and license people. So is this right now we're in just that stage? I mean, this has taken over a course of 2, 3, 4 years, but I think pretty soon we're going to have that body that regulates licenses, revokes license, and trains people on this. Yeah.
Based on your experience, how long does it typically take from a client coming to you wanting to buy a property and closing a property or buying the property?
Buying.
Like, so I come to you
like buying
with my 300,000.
Yeah.
How long does it typically take?
To get it closed?
Yeah.
An average of a month and 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Right now, yeah. Especially, I mean, it becomes a little bit complex when you have those with higher budgets, like $1 million and those guys 800,000. I've dealt with clients up to 1.3 million right now, so it becomes a little bit, the conversation is different. I think it depends on people you're dealing with, luxury clients, high-end clients, really, really high-end clients. And sometimes these high-end clients, there's a lot of bureaucratic system that you have to go through. You have to pass information along those people. So, but an average of a month, 2.5, typically.
So,
6 weeks.
Not to get in your business, your trade secrets and all that stuff, but can you kindly walk us through the process as to how it goes. Like, okay, I want to buy a home. I come to want to buy a home. What happens?
So first, it's a series of questions. We call it pre-qualifying questions.
Okay.
I think that's a thing that other agents don't do, and they end up working with the wrong people.
Okay.
You don't want to work with someone for like you've exchanged information for like almost a month just to discover the person is a fronter or is a cousin of whoever is buying. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna revert. My cousin is not is not in the country yet. He's gonna be coming. So all this time you're having conversation.
You're not dealing with the actual buyer,
with the decision maker, and now when the decision maker shows up, you have to start all over again.
Okay.
So we like to ask a couple questions, pre-qualifying questions, to know who you are, and it helps us to know if the lead or whoever you are, the prospect is with a term in marketing called hot or warm. Which means that are they looking to buy a property right now, or they want to buy a property tomorrow or next week or next month, or they just want to know what the market looks like. So for the hot buyers like yourself having like cash, I've seen people sending me like a token, like, hey bro, this is just like for your services, for your pre-services, wherever. I'm looking to, and I just send you like a little bit of more.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, send you some token of like, hey, I need to get a property as quick as possible. Make it happen. We're like, yeah, sure. We get into work. Thanks. I ask a couple questions, size, specifications. We're looking for what your lifestyle looks like, how quick you want to settle. Those questions, once we're done with that, typically takes about, for those, especially for the ones who are really hot, they answer a question as quick as possible. So you are done. I mean, it takes a day for that to happen. And for us, we get to work immediately. So we start sending you like different options between that same day or next day. So between 2 to 3 days, we're done with like seeing all the options that you've sent. Now the remaining 4 to 5, the 4th to the 5th day is just to review the options that you've sent me, ask questions based on what they've seen, compare properties. So for example, we can send them up to 10 different properties or to 15 different properties. But for the ones who know what they want, they need about 5 to see. And like, I think I like this one. Could we see it? So from the time they get in touch with us for the first week, it's between an information and booking an appointment. So we can book appointment the weekend or the next week to go see these houses. Looking at those houses takes about 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
For them to work, okay, I think I like this one. And then after that, once they see the ones they've liked, so sometimes it's between 15 houses, they can see like 3 or 4 properties. The next thing they will do is to throw in offers for all of these houses. Okay, it's $450, I have $280,000. It's a little strategy for me
so you go back to
yes. So
the seller, and then you negotiate with the seller.
Exactly, that's where my negotiation
your job
skills.
is not easy then.
It's crazy. I would say it's crazy. It's bananas.
Wow.
Like it's
I
really
actually
tough.
think it's just.
No. It is very tedious because now I have to go in, especially for those with tight budgets, and they count so much. Benai, please make this work. Make this work. I trust in you. I'm like an accountant. You're like, you just kind of like instill that sense of.
Do you know what's
trust.
funny? I had a friend who is a realtor, and like you were saying before, did all the marketing, put money in it and everything, and they sold. And when they sold, I think the developer didn't value what the realtor did, and I think the developer was like, all you did was just put up a poster, right? All you did was put up a poster, and the person walked in, and so therefore. My friend was very distraught about the fact that they didn't see the work that was put into it. I didn't know that you had to go back and negotiate and all that stuff.
You really have to. And sometimes for those people who really count on you, like, for people like, I know you can do this. They put in so much confidence and trust in you. You have to like act in your interest at this time. I think that's where you it's not really in the US you have dual agency and dual agents. That's where it's not possible to be a dual agent in this situation, because now you have to act in the interest of your buyer. You can't be the agent for the two sides. So you have to like negotiate on their behalf, throw in an offer, like a really reasonable offer that they just don't. No, for example, you have 300,000. Could you take 275?
It's gone down actually. My 300,000
Problem.
So anyway, 275. So we just throw in all these offers and the three or four properties that we've seen. Usually the back and forth continues for like a week. But once we've analyzed all the counter offers, and then we choose maybe the best two, and we throw another counter offer, and just like that and like that. So between these two, we now see, usually they come back again, look at it day and night, compare, analyze, and like, okay, I think we're good to go. But if they involve the bank, that takes another time. It takes almost 2 months.
And all that
Yeah,
stuff.
because the bank, they need about not less than 3 weeks to do whatever they need to do. So for us, between 2 to 3 weeks, we should be done with whatever we need to do, from introduction to getting you the deal. So the rest of the time, it's payment, transfer, all of those things.
I have a question for you, Vinaya. So, what are your thoughts on? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
I'm so
go ahead.
curious. What are your thoughts on, online platforms that kind of deliver in, well, I'd like to think in real time, even options that are available within the city, within the country, to potential clients. So, for example, if I'm looking for a home, instead of maybe reaching out to a realtor like yourself, I would just go to a platform that kind of serves as a real-time information hub.
Yeah. I think we've not really have a platform as sophisticated as Zillow. We have a long way to go. I mean, yeah, but I don't know if any of you have saw that a couple of years, or was it 2 years ago, that was a platform called Tonaton.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's good there was someone who had gone there to publish a property for, I think the person meant to say 1.5 million cities, because in Toronto you can't post in dollars. You can only post in cities.
Okay.
And what this guy did was I don't know, it was an omission or something, but he added an extra zero and it became 15,000 cities. And I think Blankson, the comedian, what's his name? What's his name? Yes, the Ghanaian comedian. What's his name? The Blackson guy.
Michael
Blackson.
Yeah.
He captured it and put it on Twitter. This is what like the same amount of money gives in the United States, and this is what it gives in Ghana. And that home was so shitty. Like,
oh no,
the home didn't make any sense. I think so. You realize that it's as good as coming to me, because those information you see in those platforms are put by people as well.
Yeah,
they're not like generated by a research firm or a real-time research firm putting up those figures, but there's still people like myself who go over to those platforms to publish our properties. So that's some of the challenges. But yeah, I have situations where people get information from there, get properties from there. So what do you think about this? I think that's one of the nicest things clients do. And I really appreciate and I really love when they do that. They just do their own research,
and then come to you,
and then come to like,
yes,
just like reach out to these people, see what they have, see what offering is available, and just let's do this.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what advice would you give as a realtor? Would you give Stephanie, myself, and all the potential buyers out there that we don't know getting into buying a property?
Okay.
What would you tell? Like, what is there that we don't know when you're going to buy a property?
Some of the biggest challenges I've seen dealing with clients are they're often misinformed, and this misinformation is really devastating. It can make you lose like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I've seen situations where someone has lost almost $500,000 because they put it like $500,000 because they put it in a wrong investment. Their cousins or their brothers, sisters, uncles, wives, uncle, brothers, and a cousin said this is the right investment. And without proper research or, they believed in them, they paid that money and they just kept paying. And then they come down just to find out that, oh my goodness, my cousin doesn't know what an investment property is. He has gone to invest in shops. You bought me a shop. You invested in commercial real estate. Is this an investment property? Like, I need to Airbnbs. I mentioned that he kept shouting. I mentioned I want to do an Airbnb. Kofi Airbnb. So it's that misinformation that often, sometimes distorts the way or distorts how easy or seamless a transaction can go when buyers want to buy a home. So I think for my best advice is engage all parties, talk to everyone, be well informed, talk to a lawyer, talk to friends, talk to people like myself, read, go to platforms like Mikasa and other platforms, see what offerings are there, talk to developers, like just gain some sense of education, pre-education concerning property purchase, read articles out there, read the comments, look at the locations that matter based on your lifestyle. And it's my greatest challenge is that misinformation, because people come and they tell me, my husband said this, my husband works in this bank and he feels this. But your husband's feel this. I'm actively in this.
Different.
Would you listen to your husband who's a banker? Has to go around getting people to take term loans you listen to me who do this, like I do nothing else like outside real estate. I mean, I own a laundry, but I'm actively a real estate person.
Where is your laundry place?
Just close to my house, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's close to where I live. I was so busy,
what is the name of it?
It's Team Laundry. Thanks.
Team Laundry.
Yeah, Team Laundry.
Interesting.
I just had so much thing to do because real estate is so much. I didn't have the time to wash my clothes, and I bought the washing machine from my friend, and I had 2 washing machines in the house. So I came back I don't have many clothes. I don't have many clothes. I have like 3 or 4 pairs of jean trousers, like 6, 7 shirts.
That is a lot, by the way.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot for you.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's not a lot for the type of job I do. I mean, we need to dress smart,
Right.
But I came home one day, like, I have 2 washing machines. Wait, what are you doing with this? But I manage other homes. We manage a total of almost 100 houses and apartments.
Wow.
So, and I kept going out to do laundry for my bed sheets, duvets, and they just kept taking so much money from me. And I told them, hey, this has to stop today. I won't come to your place no more. I'm going to open a laundry because of you. And the next week I open a laundry.
Interesting.
So that's how I started. And thankfully it's going good. It's going good.
Awesome.
What do you know now that you didn't know when you were looking for a property, and you would advise your fellow buyers to look out for?
I want to say that manage your expectations.
What does that mean?
Because when we're coming in, especially, like I said, everybody's different depending on what you're looking for. But I came in looking for a home knowing that this is Ghana. This is where I grew up. When you're having to buy into somebody's vision, something would have to give. You would have to kind of, compromise a little bit. And maybe you want a backyard, or maybe you want a 3-bedroom outhouse. And you might not have that.
Okay.
Maybe you want a 4-bedroom apartment and it's just a 3-bedroom. And one thing I've also really appreciated, I've always appreciated the importance of just the realtor knowing that, and I have, even my realtor who sold me my first home in the US, we're friends. Every time I go, we catch up, we have lunch, because I believe it's such a personal thing, looking for a home. So you need somebody that you can absolutely put 110% faith in, and somebody who also understands what they're doing. And so I kind of, I don't want to say something that I learned, but it's just something that I kind of transported to my search. But definitely just managing your expectations when it comes to looking for a home in Ghana. Just I don't want to say be realistic. You can have a dream home for sure. But just manage your expectations. Know that sometimes, especially if you're not building from scratch, like I said, not everything.
Manage your expectations.
Manage your expectations. manage your expectations.
Right. Well, I'd like to thank Mr. Rawlings and Miss Asen
Oh, thank you too
on the
for
home
having
front
me.
today.
Thank you.
Do you mind giving your number for all the potential?
Yes, absolutely. My number is 020-915-4964. You can reach me either by call or WhatsApp. Yeah, you can also connect with me on any of my social media channels. The full name is, I just go by the same full name, Benaya Uche Rollins. You can find me there.
Whoop, whoop. And then also, want to give a shout out to Miss Asen's product, Atara.
Oh,
You want to tell us a bit
know.
about Tara, though?
Okay, I'll just give you a quick elevator pitch. So when I had my daughter, I had postpartum alopecia, lost all my hair, about like 70% of it, looked like a hot mess. People were scared just to even look at me. Started meddling with natural ingredients because I was a breastfeeding mom, didn't want to pass down anything toxic to my daughter. And so the only way was to kind of like put together my own products. I found out through research that the best alternative was just organic natural oils, and that's what I did. So I dabbled with those that had the highest that were quite potent in regrowing hair, like blocking hair loss in and of itself. And that is how I had my scalp, I created my scalp and hair treatment. Used it within about 4 to 6 weeks. My hair was looking, the change had come. And I was able to go out again. My edges were kind of growing out. And I would just share it with anybody that was having, my friends, family, sisters, cousins. Eventually, it became a thing. Yes. I prayed. I said, God, what am I to do next after my corporate stint? And all I heard was sell the oil. And so that's what I've been doing since. And it's been amazing. Please find us at www.myatara.com.
They might want to know the spelling of that.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Atara means crown, FYI. It's Greek. It's Hebrew, sorry, for crown.
Okay.
Growing up, my grandmother always said that your hair is your crown, and I truly believe that. So Atara is ATARAH. Website is myatara.com.
My Atara.
My Atara because of my crown.
Yeah. Myatara.com.
And on Instagram, we are Atara Hair Care, at Atara Hair Care, Instagram and Facebook and TikTok as well. So, yeah. If you have any hair questions, just,
Throw them to you.
let me know.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for the home front. Peace.
Thank you so much for having us.